Thank you, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, for your rendition of our theme, and welcome to episode 39 of the Champagne Comedy Podcast, where we talk about the best Australian comedy show from the 90s ever made, The Late Show, and other D-Generation comedy tidbits. My name is Matt, and joining this podcast today is Alison, Daniel, Kim and Tony.
Hey everyone.
We're all good? Great to hear. Everyone just nodded on this podcast.
This is an audio.
We already know how to do this.
Nah, we'll never know how to do this.
Okay, everybody wave. Hey, okay, so yeah, if you just imagine that. God.
Oh gosh, this is riveting stuff for an audio medium so far.
Cease and desist sending in your bar just audio. So as of right now, it's officially closed. So you'll find out in the final episode the final results. So we did get a couple more entries. Thank you very much for that. So everyone who has entered Barjas, quote, and a fart noise, and your chance to win the complete box set of Bluey / Barjas. Thanks to mygeekculture.com.au. And also the second prize is the Late Show Champagne Edition DVD, as well as other prizes being CDs from Lucky Jackson, aka Toilet Breaks Michael Warren, and an autographed Joan Kerner poster of her being Joan Jett.
And I love rock and roll. Put another dime in the jukebox, baby.
That is autographed to, and who's it signed to again? Les and someone else.
And Chris.
So if you're called either Les or Chris, or hopefully you're in a couple with a Les or a Chris, this is perfect for you.
Or what the hell? Change your name to match the post.
Exactly.
Deed poll.
Yeah, if you and your partner change your name to Les and Chris.
No. Just one person, but you're called so one person called Les and Chris.
Okay. Yeah.
Confuse the shit out of them.
We don't want to exclude single people.
And also a book of Tony Martin's Nest of Occasionals, which Daniel G found in a bargain bin.
Yeah, rescued.
Yes, rescued. There we go. Brand new. Stay tuned for the final episode for the complete result. So thank you very much, everyone who has entered for that.
I've got the paper.
Daniel G and his program guide.
Thanks, Matt. So this is What's Up Against Season 2, Episode 19. This comes from Ross Warnicki's Critical Guide in the Saturday Age. And basically there's a lot of movies tonight, although I think most of the better movies, in my personal opinion, come a lot later in the evening. We'll start with Channel 7. At 8:30, they've got part 2 of a mini-series called Framed. The first part was last night. Warnicki says that it's the conclusion of the mini-series about crook Eddie Myers, played by Timothy Dalton, who fakes his own death and makes a new life for himself in Spain, only to be pursued by Detective Sergeant Jackson, played by David Morrissey. Then at 10:45, the movie To Kill a Mockingbird. Warnicki says that it's the excellent 1962 adaptation of Harper Lee's story of racism in a small southern town. Gregory Peck plays the Alabama lawyer defending a black man accused of raping a white girl. A cinema classic, he says. So much so that he's labelled it the pick of the night. So, I mean, apart from it being old, I'm not quite sure why they put it at 11:15, to be honest. Over to Channel 9, we've got a packed episode of Hey Hey It's Saturday with special guest John Farnham and not much else. You see, he's promoting his just-released album, Then Again. It was released the previous Monday. So to kick things off, he performs the lead single from the album. Seemed like a good idea at the time, but sadly without the input from the D-Generation, which we'll hear from the music video.
Ehi Giovanni, tu dovresti suonare la fisarmonica per dare migliore apparenza di fronte al pubblico.
What my grandfather is saying, that if you want to crack the international market, you should play the piano accordion. See, the piano accordion...
una bella voce.
You've got an okay voice. It's okay.
Diventano la bellezza di tutto il mondo.
One guitar is useless, he says.
John, what's the one common ingredient of every successful rock clip?
The music.
Apart from the music.
Vision.
a smoke machine. John?
Chase.
I'm thinking moustache. Billy Ray Farnham.
One word, John. Androgyny.
2 words, John. Monster trucks.
Gratuitous violence.
John, I'm going to say one word to you. Lambada. Your impression.
Yeah, I can do that.
Loves it!
I think about bringing out the dark side of John Farnham. I know it's there. And also the Mo. I think the Mo's a good idea.
Ah, memories.
But certainly a very visual thing. So go and have a look at all of those suggestions, moustaches and lambada and gratuitous violence in the video clip on YouTube. Next up, we've got hypnotist Peter Powers. My guess is that he might have done the old, eat an onion like it's an apple routine. I haven't given my credit card to Daryl Summers, so I don't know if he actually did that. But
I've been hypnotised by Peter Powers before.
Just casually mentioned.
Kind of hypnotised.
All right, after Peter Powers, we've got John Farnham again performing this song.
You're the reason why.
And the reason why was co-written by Richard Marx, and that's him on the piano in the version on the album. Then after that, we've got not John Farnham, better known as Rhonda Birchmore, doing a cover of Johnny Logan's 1987 Eurovision Song Contest winner. No, you haven't accidentally tuned into Smooth FM. This is still the Champagne Comedy Podcast. Then with Red Faces, we've got the judges, American jazz and pop singer and pianist Buddy Grieco, and John Farnham again.
Oh, wow.
Only women bleed.
Yeah, he performs another cover after that. Again, being very earnest, considering it's a cover of the Alice Cooper 1975 hit. Then to break things up from the Farnham Fest, we've got Molly Meldrum interviewing Michael Crawford in a pre-recorded bit. And then to finish things off, we've got John Farnham, last of all, doing basically a favourite from the album.
Sandhurst, everything you're looking for.
I had to do it.
Like power tools, you need to fight, so you can cut, hammer, sandsaw, drill or grind. And when you need a choice from every brand, and experts there to lend a hand, you know, Sandhurst machinery, have everything you're looking for.
Quality, Daniel, quality.
I know it's the obvious joke, but compared to all the other stuff he's sung so far on Hey Hey, it's not out of place, is it? But no, he ends things on a much upbeat note with Talk of the Town.
It's the talk of the town.
So there you go. That's Hey Hey with John Farnham, and if you don't like him, you're shit out of luck, I'm afraid. After all that, at 8:30 we've got the movie Another You. Says Warneke, it's a tepid 1991 Gene Wilder, Richard Pryor comedy about two men, one a pathological liar, the other a con man, who get involved in an absurd get-rich-quick scheme. Neither Wilder nor Pryor can revive the terminally ill script. Then at 10:35, probably the better of the two movies, Caddyshack.
Oh, nice.
Says Warneke, rather mindless 1980 Chevy Chase, Rodney Dangerfield comedy set at a swank golf club. The script is weak, and what laughs there are come mostly from sight gags.
Yeah, I'd have to disagree firmly with Warneke there. Warneke is a clueless tool if he's giving Caddyshack a review like that. Caddyshack is genius. Warneke in the bin.
Warneke!
All right, over to Channel 10. At 8:30, we've got the first of three games in the 1993 NBL Finals. Melbourne Tigers versus the Perth Wildcats. The first game being played tonight is on the Tigers' home turf, with the remaining two next Friday and Sunday in Perth. Does anybody care about the score?
No. Yeah. Well, my partner would probably be able to tell me if I went in the next room and asked him.
Yeah, to quote Adam Bant, Google it. Then after news and sports tonight, at midnight, we've got the movie Brazil. Warneke says that it's a 1985 futuristic comedy satire written by director Terry Gilliam and Tom Stoppard that tries to mock bureaucracies but ends up being rather too clumsy and often embarrassingly unfunny. with Jonathan Pryce and Robert De Niro.
Is it the US edit or is it Gilliam's cut?
I've got no idea, but yeah, considering that this would have been 7 years after it came out, probably the original.
Oh, I don't know. I reckon it might have been the US one. It took a while for the original to sort of get back into the swing after the Americans cut off the ending to make it happy.
Oh, dear.
I know, like, it's a notorious case. They totally butchered the film. And yeah, it's got this ridiculous happy ending, which, if you've seen Brazil, doesn't make a lot of sense.
So if anyone did tape Brazil that night on your VHS tape, please check it for us and let us know.
Amazing. I had no idea that there was a separate edit for it.
My memories are hazy. It's possible they made the US one and put it out and then realised it was garbage and buried it. There's a really good book out there by a guy who died just recently that goes into it, but it was a classic, massive sort of example of Hollywood taking this, if you've seen Brazil, it's not a feel-good film. It's got laughs, but it's not a comedy. And just going, we don't want this. We want something that people are going to laugh at, and we're going to chop and change until we get it.
Very cool.
We want something that's going to test well with audiences.
Yeah. But Brazil is a good film.
But yeah, buried at midnight if you wanted to watch it. Well, at least it wouldn't clash with The Late Show anyway. Going over to SBS, the 9:30 movie is The Evil Eye. Says Warneke, director Claude Chabrol's uneven 1952 drama about a French journalist visiting Germany, where he becomes obsessed with the marriage of a well-known author and a French woman, ultimately jeopardizing its survival, with Jacques Charrier and Stéphane Audran. Or as the ad in the Green Guide put it a lot more pithily, obsession, jealousy, seduction. This study in voyeurism is worth a peep. Get it? Worth a peep? Voyeurism?
Those words, you sounded like you were about to recite a Calvin Klein commercial.
Well, actually, would you want to put on an eau de toilette called Jealousy?
There probably is one out there.
Oh, it's probably one of those cheap knockoff, in the bargain bin of Chemist Warehouse.
That really is poor value.
Now, with the listings to the ABC, for anything that Ross Warneke deems worth a look, he puts a box around the listings. And he's done that for most of the ABC lineup. Keeping Up appearances at 7:30, One Foot in the Grave at 8 o'clock, The Bill at 8:30, even The Late Show at 10 o'clock. Wow. There's only one program that he doesn't recommend is worth a look, and that's What'll I Do? No. Birds of a Feather. So I think The Late Show and Ross Warneke are thinking alike here.
Well, before you go into the description of it, can I just mention some of the comments that there was a recent tweet that went out from the official Leslie Joseph, who plays Dorian, the dirty car. So we it was just them and the original cast together. So we put it on, we retweeted it, made a comment, with the sonic trigger. And then some people got it, some people didn't, but the comments on here are just hilarious.
Go on then.
So some of them saying it was excruciating watching this, waiting for the real comedy to come on. And then someone else has written here, they're still alive. And another one is written here, birds off a feather, the slowest 22 minutes of every week. And someone's gone, I've despised that show. And another person, the Saturday night entree, quality TV time with my mum. And and then someone's admitted here, oh my God, I love these guys and have the whole series plus the new ones on DVD. Best show ever. And someone else has written here, can you please clarify which show you're talking about? And here, another one here, made men behaving badly look like Seinfeld.
Well, they were totally different shows, to be honest. I mean, Birds of a Feather is very firmly in dramedy territory.
Well, one more, and I promise that's it because there's heaps of them. Look at it on the Late Show Facebook page. This one's a perler. This show defied physics in that it blew and sucked at the same time.
Well, there you go. It could be said also of the episode that's on tonight, season 3, episode 3, titled "Baby Come Back." Sharon is at the shopping centre flogging double glazing, as you do, when she meets her ex-boyfriend Dave, with whom she had an affair and whose baby she aborted. However, after Sharon thinks they can get back together, she finds out that Dave already has a wife who is in fact 8 months pregnant, which causes an uneasy relationship between them. Meanwhile, Tracy finds herself missing family life, and Dorian agonises over what to wear to her nephew's bris. I'm not sure what it would have been, but hopefully something a bit saucy. That's all right, at 10 o'clock, The Late Show, the listing says that it's the second last edition for 93 with the D Generation, and as I said before, he deems it worth a look. And then after that, at 11 o'clock, Order in the House. At midnight, Smith and Jones. 12:30, ATVI News. And at 1 a.m, we've got Rage. The Green Guide says that it features an English rock band called the Beatles. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember. That's a bit obscure.
All right, that's been far too long going through the program guide. Let's get into the episode itself.
Cool, thank you very much, Daniel. And let's get into it. The Late Show, Season 2, Episode 19, broadcast Saturday, October 23rd, 1993. And we have the opening, and this is pretty much one of the best bits. The shocking statistics that 1 in 5 children may suffer from a serious spinal or head injury, but make sure that you're filming it and send it into Australia's Funniest Home Videos.
And yeah,
this was a nice cold open, nice and simple, funny. Good start.
Apart from the Funniest Home Videos reference, eerily prescient today when we've all got a video camera in our pockets. Basically, stop filming and help somebody, you idiots.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, this sketch features Mark Gibson as the idiot wielding the camera.
It does too, yeah.
Is he credited as such in the credits?
He wasn't in the credits, unfortunately, but...
just under producer.
Yeah.
All right, after the opening titles, the opening remarks, and Tony and Mick are telling the cameraman to settle down because what a shot it was, wasn't it? Go the boom shot.
Well, telling the cameraman and the audience to settle down. This had a very fiery audience all the way through.
They were going nuts, weren't they? They were cheering and hollering at everything.
I was watching this and thinking, this is why they stopped. You couldn't have done a third series if you got an audience more rowdy than this. They would have been storming the stage.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want an idea of a little bit of a modern take of that, think, just as, with the Chasers War and everything. So basically from season 2, season 3 onwards, how they suddenly got really, really popular and they couldn't do their pranks anymore. That was like that for the last couple of episodes of season 2 because they were the it thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, as we find out further on in the episode, no spoilers, but there are a few people who may not be as familiar with the Late Show as we may have thought.
They all recognise Mick.
Did anybody spot as the camera was coming in the sly Vic Morrow reference from Tony?
Yeah.
Yes, I googled the Vic Morrow thing, and my goodness, that's a story, isn't it?
It's got its own Wikipedia page.
Yeah,
Twilight Zone accident.
It's fucked up. It is.
Don't look at the footage. Don't.
No.
There's footage of that.
You do not.
There would be.
Filming.
Oh my.
Yeah. No. Don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
It's available because it's a historical moment. Unfortunately, and I went through the whole court cases. I know Tony can explain all this. I know the entire story too. I've seen it, and it is very heartbreaking, disturbing to watch, and it's completely accidental. So,
but it's don't muck around on film sets.
Don't cut corners.
No.
As Alec Baldwin discovered. Yes. This is worse in that 3 people died. Essentially, they were filming a Vietnam War scene, and a helicopter landed, except it landed on 3 people, and they died. And if you want further details, you can read about it on Wikipedia, or if you really want to look at the footage, I suppose you could go and do that, but it's not very nice way to die, let's put it that way.
No, it was an industrial accident, basically. And But it was interesting that Tony referenced it because, that would be that. Well, now even it's a deep cut film reference, and to drop that in at the start of your comedy show probably before Google would have had a few people, turning to the next one on the couch and going, Vic Morrow, what?
It's not the only time when Tony has made an obscure movie reference. So, yeah, he does it a couple of times in this episode.
On that upbeat note.
On that note, let's go to other unfortunate deaths, and that is all about dinosaurs. So, and look, it's 30 years later, big turnaround. Yeah.
Very topical.
Tony declares the end of Dinomania. The irony that 29 years later.
Slightly premature.
Yeah.
But then again, Tony then goes into, it's sort of like he's doing another undiscovered masterpiece of the cinema again, talking about how, this big Jurassic Park thing is being run by 4 guys apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And a mechanical Sam Neill.
Yeah.
It's interesting that, since then, Sam Neill's acting career and status has kind of accrued this warm, rosy glow. And, watching him and stuff now, he's great. Everyone loves Sam Neill. But, back in the early 90s, when he showed up, it was kind of like, okay, what are we going to get now? But, it's
we would have still called him a New Zealander rather than an Aussie.
He's only got better.
Well, it's the piano, really, isn't it, that probably turned his career around.
I think he got old enough to be sort of like the crusty old duffer in a lot of ways. I mean, that's what he plays a lot of time in movies. That's what he plays in the new Jurassic Park. He's kind of, sort of got this avuncular, to use a Tom Gleisner word, glow around him where, he's great. You love seeing him on screen now.
Like a fine bottle of 2 Paddocks wine, he's aged very well. All right. Yeah, there we go. They can pay me for that. Don't forget, they used him in a dish as well as a crusty old fellow. So, the French space program launched their own space shuttle, which was the Yoplait hot air balloon.
I enjoyed that stupid joke.
Yeah.
I also like the idea that the French are only going to the moon because it's made of cheese.
Yeah. Was that
silly,
the joke?
Silly jokes about the French.
Was that the joke that Tony's told Mick not to make, and Mick promised that he wouldn't make that joke, and he ended up doing it anyway?
but they keep going with the French jokes because they're doing a spacewalk against the wind, and it's a kind of it's like a checklist of French cliches, but it's kind of fun.
Yeah, and Mick's kind of dressed up a bit Marcel Marceau with his black and white striped top, isn't he?
Yes.
Then they also refer to Bob Hawke buying a building by accident.
He never actually meant to buy the building. He was walking past at the time of the auction, and the auctioneer got confused when he looked over and saw Bob going, "No!
That's like a really bad impression of Bob Hawke, and yet it's really perfect as well.
Although I cannot understand the weird kind of ear pull that Mick does. Like, I don't associate that with Hawkeye at all.
Oh, why?
He used to do that.
Yeah.
You need to watch more Gillies Report.
Oh, yeah.
That's about 80% of Max Gillies' impression is sort of turning and tugging the ear and going, yeah.
Yeah. So
that was the 1980s, though, wasn't it? Literally everyone, in the schoolyard, your parents were all going, doing their Bob Hawke impression, pulling the ear.
Yeah.
Also, a country practice moved from Channel 7 to Channel 10. Mick demands to bring back Cookie. What a great little throwback to Season 2, Episode 1 with that, where Cookie was playing Panama.
That was one of the few moments where the audience didn't go wild.
No, they kind of went collectively, who is this guy?
Did they? Yeah, I would have known. Cookie from my childhood.
Well, I mean, they knew who he was, but it was more like, what the hell is he doing? I think is probably the reaction to
Why?
Panama.
Why is this happening?
Yeah.
You know who at the you know what.
News desk with Tommy G. The budget has made it through Parliament thanks to 2 Green senators, and this is where what's his name, Scott McPhee, or I do apologise, I should have looked this up earlier.
It could have been his brother Ross.
Ross, yeah. We get the McPhees a lot, which is fantastic. So thank you, guys.
They clarified who these Green senators were from the last episode.
But here we go. Ross McPhee. Bam. Christabel Chamaret and D. Margetts. Basically, the two who come out. So Tommy really just has a one-on-one chat with him.
Well, Tom, remember when you were at university and there were always a couple of mature age students that everyone wanted to kill? Because they were the only people who read all the recommended reading material and finished their assignments 6 months in advance. I like to think of myself as a little like that, whereas Dee is more the kind of person who
enjoys finishing other people's sentences and who's done a few too many high school debates. So I'm very emphatic and I have a tendency to not make it clear whether my sentence is finished or not.
Would you
which
say
it
that
hasn't.
It has.
It has now.
It has now. It's finished.
Classic. I like how they are just stuck in 1982 as well. That's just, they like 1982 and they're not ashamed of it.
Remember when Australian politics was this bland?
But but you also had Paul Keating saying, all sorts of things in Parliament. So it was kind of exciting in that sense.
Pretty much these two senators tend to block anything and everything. And what made them come around, well, they were offered their own fashion label, which they demonstrate with slides, which was, quality venture shopping catalogue type looks.
Oh, God, venture.
Yeah.
Yes. It's very much the pilot for the female premier, isn't it? The boxy clothing and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. And Prime Minister Paul Keating is very pleased with the budget getting through, and who is live patched in via satellite.
Good evening, Tommy. Hang on, Mr. Keating. I must say you look just a little strange.
Yes, everyone looks like this on Cyprian TV, Tommy. I'm not too bad. You should see what the Queen looks like. There you go.
Yeah, right. If we could perhaps have the Prime Minister back.
Yes. I do lots of impressions, Tommy.
Sure you do.
This is John Blackman for Telecom Mobile.
Yeah, fine. Well, we got it in this week. No.
So,
Yay.
Does that count as a Blackman joke, a John Blackman Telecom joke? So therefore it's the 12th one, or is it 11 and a half?
Yeah, call it a half, I reckon.
All right, cool. 11 and a half.
But as Thomas said, they got it in for another week.
I did enjoy this budget joke, though.
You must be happy about the budget finally being passed.
Yes, I'm cock-a-hoop, Tommy. Over the moon, off my nut. In fact, I was just joking about it to John Dawkins the other day. I said, this bill is moving so slowly, I don't think we'll ever budget. You see, budget? That's a ball terror, that one, isn't it, Tommy?
Tell me, did the Treasurer laugh?
No, he didn't.
And then, after a malfunction with the lip sync, then the RSPCA released footage from a cockfighting ring, and there's before and after shots of the Dirty Bird. That's a Tommy G zinger.
Oh. Sorry, that's not another KFC reference, is it?
Oh no, there was no pun. Yeah. I'll claim that then. That wasn't intentional.
All they did was stuck a couple of hooks into a roast chook.
Though Tommy G does state that he'd rather have a Plug a Duck cop it instead.
And more silence from the audience.
Yeah. Too many fans. What's all that about?
Why are there Pluck a Duck fans in a late show audience? What's wrong with them?
Well, I guess that this was probably like early in Pluck a Duck's, rise to fame. So he still sort of seemed fresh and young and promising.
Yeah. He wasn't shirty.
Well past his use-by date.
People really dug that sexual assault vibe in the early 90s.
God.
He was a young up-and-comer with the world at his feet.
Yeah.
China sends $100,000 worth of clothing to Victoria flood victims in the form of Beijing 2000 T-shirts. that deserves that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. In sport, Diego Maradona arrives in Australia to play for Argentina, though he's escaping cameras due to a mix-up with his luggage, and they show footage of drugs. And then there's been a call for banning of bull bars, and this is where the part where in the DVD where you see Tommy G at the news desk and the bull bars aren't dangerous, bam, straight into the wall, and down comes basically the set behind him.
That's really well done, isn't it? That's really well done.
You could kind of see that Tommy's like, if I stay still, everything will be fine.
Mr. Bouquet said it would be fine.
Yeah. Then he goes to explain the reason why he was safe, because there was these two things that blocked it, which were the Green senators coming out from underneath the desk.
Very clever.
Nice one.
Yeah, poor Jane and Judith having to hide underneath the desk while all that stuff is going on around them.
Commercial time, and it's basically a commercial taking the piss out of all insurances, really. SFA or sweet fuck all, I'm guessing. Pretty much it's an accident-prone male being played by Tommy G.
Tommy G is really good at pulling off that sort of gormless facial expression as he, stupidly runs over the cat and so on.
There is some great prop/stunt work in this as well.
I like the reaction when he chopped his hand off.
Yeah. And it just kept spurting out this fake blood. He just thought it was over and it just kept going.
The second the accident happens, he's waving his insurance documents, going, "I'm fine, I'm fine."
And the only bit which survives into the best bits is the closing part with Jane essentially, portraying. Well, I suppose it's technically one of the Amy girls. I would say most likely. Yeah. With huge a huge headset, which is obviously covering up for the fact that suddenly two sides of an arrow are going to be basically sprouting out either side of it at short notice.
That's very well done. You can really not see the join on that.
Music time, and it's a different
hang on. They replay the freeze frame gallery. It's the same one from a few episodes back. I went through it, but yeah, we get the freeze frame again. If you missed it last time, you forgot to tape it. Now you can watch it.
Yeah, it's so much easier when you have VHS to be able to actually forward the frame by frame and see exactly what's going on. Nowadays with digital, if anyone's kind of digitized their copy, it's extremely hard to actually pause it properly and see exactly what's going on.
Yes.
So, luckily, we've got our VHSs.
We'll send out all the still shots so you won't miss out. Even the word scrotum, which no one forgot it. So don't forget the scrotum. Thank you. Well, that's for all the Get This listeners out there. But yes, the music video, and when you look back at this, so Santa introduces REM, Everybody Hurts, the music video, their version of the music video. So, but here's the thing, it's the proper song.
Yeah.
So they've obviously paid whatever rights it was to make sure that it sounded like it wouldn't work in this case.
Yeah, it made it to the DVD.
REM, big fans.
The Michael Stipe is just going, hell yeah. Yeah, so as per the DVD, you see all the panning shots of everyone in the car with their quotes coming up.
Yeah, sort of their inner thoughts coming up in subtitle form. And there are some absolute pearlers in this one.
I wrote down two that I particularly liked. So I quite like Rob's one, which is I'm going to be late for jazz ballet. And I think he's wearing the skivvy at that time, so he's looking very much like the Rob Sitch character. And then there's Jane, and she's looking very sort of I don't know, and her caption is, "How do I tell Jim Whaley it's over?" So there's a slight sort of look forward to Brooke Vandenberg there, in a sense, I suppose. But yeah, then there's the punchline. I don't know if we've got, which is quite good, but there's probably a few others before.
Oh, well, there's a few others throughout as well. I mean, there's a few more standard ones like Santo thinking about shoes with zippers.
Yeah, that was my favourite one personally.
And Tony Martin doing the clucking chicken motion with I feel like chicken tonight, like chicken tonight.
The first one though was stuck in an REM clip, just my luck. But there's also a cameo which the audience didn't really get.
Well, it was sort of blink and you miss it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you had to sort of know, and you didn't see him clearly until like the camera had almost passed by him. Like I recognized him, but it was like not until the bit was almost done. Like, I don't know, they needed to light him better or something.
So that was Peter Brock saying that this isn't Conrad Strait.
And then, well, how the hell do you end this kind of a sketch? Bring in Tommy Dicer and...
his wife.
They're genuine.
Tommy Dicer and Joan Brockenshire standing in front of a wrecked vehicle still trying to get parts.
G-O-G-G-O.
Oh, we did miss out on one though. Judith was in the car saying, I haven't even got my driver's license.
Looking so much like a depressed teenager in that shot.
Well, luckily the traffic's not moving, so
technically not driving.
Now, if anyone wants to be a complete nerd and tell us what bridge they were under at the time when they filmed that. No, please don't.
It's probably that bridge in Melbourne where, like there's always a truck crashing into
Montague.
it. Montague
Street Bridge, yeah.
It'll be that
if
one.
only it was.
Yeah.
No. Now that you've said it, I'm thinking because you would have had to have a road that was probably closed off.
Would it be near the Westgate Bridge?
No, it's not. There's a few. It probably would have been one of the inner city overpasses and underpasses that Jeff Kennett was sort of just starting to think about building, because a lot of them are, you could close off quite easily. There's one I'm thinking of, which I'm sure they didn't use, but there's a big one just near the Crown Casino now that you could quite easily, do stuff under that and so on. But Melbourne's got a lot of roads.
Street interview time, and Tony and Mick asked the general public if the ABC is worth its 8.5 cents a day.
Now, hang on, you say the general public, but considering that this is the ABC, basically it's just old people all the way throughout this Vox Pop segment.
And they only ask about the ABC like the first question and a half, and then it's like, do you recognise Mick Malloy, basically?
There's a guy named Mick Malloy. Do you like him?
Oh, yes, very good, very good. Yeah.
What would you say to him if he were here now?
Oh, I just said to him that I do watch you, and I do like you, and I reckon you're doing excellent job.
Do you think you'll go a long way?
Yeah, I reckon a long way, many years.
And then Mick is just standing right next to
Never heard of him in his life.
Clearly a fan.
100%. But I did enjoy this one though. I don't think it was. I didn't compare the Best Bits DVD for it, but I'm pretty sure this one was cut out.
What about Backchat? Do you ever see that?
Yeah, sometimes.
With Tim Bowden?
Yeah. He's pretty good the way he picks up all the faults in the media.
Yeah. Do you ever write into Backchat yourself and complain?
No, not really. No, because the media do up.
This will be on Backchat now, you realise.
I think she's talking about Media Watch. I reckon she's talking about Media Watch there.
Yeah, I think so.
But anyway, whatever. None of these people know what they're talking about.
Did we recognise which part of Melbourne they were in? Because they must have been running out of locations at this point. Because, they were in Ackland Street at one point and I think Commercial Road at another. But, yeah, they must have been running out of places to go to at this stage.
I just assumed it was another bit of Ackland Street or Commercial Road that they were on, like across the road from where they'd previously been or something.
Well, all I could think of was, so I'm not familiar with the Melbourne streets, but I was looking at the tiles and, the shops that they were hanging out at, and it kind of looked like the shops that might have been, remember when they did the Best Dressed?
Oh, yeah.
The guy with the mullet and, fun with the fist coming out of it. Yeah, that... I thought it was that street.
That was the national anthem one.
Yeah, talking about that area at least.
They knew they would get some good footage there. I thought it was near an athletics field because one of the ladies has to go to the javelin toss.
See The Late Show?
The what?
The Late Show.
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you like on that program?
Well, that's... what's his name?
Mick Malloy?
Yes, that's good.
Yeah, you like Mick Malloy?
Yeah.
What do you like about him?
Well, it's very interesting.
No, I'd have to concur.
Do you like Mick Malloy, sir?
He has his moments. He's very cute.
What would you say if Mick Malloy was here now? What would you say to him?
Well, compliments. Yeah.
Do you think he's going to go a long way or go to the top?
Huh?
Do you think he's going to make his mark in television? Do you think he's like potentially the next Don Lane?
I don't know who's Don Lane.
You don't know Don Lane, sir?
No. Don Lane is which channel is it?
He's on the ABC now, isn't he, Mick?
I think it's Sky Channel, I think, last report.
I don't remember the name. No.
What about Bert Newton?
No, I don't know. I heard about him, but I never watched him.
Ernie Sigley?
No, I don't. I only just.
But you know who Mick Malloy is?
I heard about him. Yeah.
Yep, never heard of any of these things in their whole life. I like the bit towards the end of this where they sort of filmed this guy who's just standing against a shop wall and he's wearing a kind of overcoat, and they just dub over the James Bond music, and they say, "Oh, I think that guy's a commercial network spy." It's just a pretty silly moment. I enjoyed that.
What's another Tony movie reference there?
Yeah, indeed.
Time for commercial Crime Stoppers, and the theme.
These are graduates from Mick and Santo's Royal Academy of Method Acting and Late Night TV Ad Performance.
There was De Niro, there was Meryl Streep.
Robert De Niro, Meryl Streep, Daniel Day-Lewis.
I don't know about anyone else here, but I know Martin Whitehouse, which I'm about to play the commercial for, was prominent around Sydney at the time. So when I saw this commercial, I just had throwbacks.
Hey, Martin Whitehouse. You here selling more group garages?
No, I'm introducing a new product.
A new product?
Well, really a market extension of an existing product, our wood grain weatherboard, but for house cladding.
You mean the long life wood grain zinc aluminum colorbond weatherboard that you made famous?
Yeah, and we've insulated it too.
So it's warm in winter and cool in summer. How did you do that?
And so forth. It goes on for another like 30 odd seconds.
He's no really Jeff and Terry.
It's sparkling dialogue, isn't it?
Yeah. So, he was quite prominent in the 80s and 90s, Martin Whitehouse, around Sydney. So, but I couldn't find any commercials on YouTube, which is probably a good thing. So, other than that, there was also the Rent Buster guy.
Yeah, do we think he's the father of the Wallet Wizard guy? He's certainly similarly acting.
Then there was also the Commercial Crime Stoppers motto.
Higher, faster, hammier.
It's got to be. Well, hang on, so what we've seen, that is a great motto.
I'm glad we went down that track too. There was someone writing that motto down.
Well, we got it. But the next one was all about a certain window security company. So, and it starts with being on the phone.
Sheridan, how lovely to hear from you, dear.
Thank you.
Warnicky would approve.
Thank you very much. Now, here it is.
Oh, hi, Mum. No, John's away interstate. The kids are fine. No, I'm not worried at all. John had Basco removable security bars fitted to the inside of the windows. No, they look great. Of course it's safe. In an emergency, you can exit at the turn of a key. With Basco bars, I have comfort, security, and peace of mind.
There's also that particular sort of TV ad acting sin, I call it, where there are those minuscule gaps for the other person on the line that they're not talking to. Obviously, it's sort of like if you were trying to imagine the unheard other side of the conversation with that phone call, they wouldn't be able to get a word in with all of the talking about the benefits of the Basco bar system.
Having spent a bit of time recently in rural Victoria, they do still have ads of that slightly better made than those ads. But there are still quite a few ads that are just somebody reciting a script to camera in not the most polished of forms. But it's just, you never see them in the big cities. No. You know what it does remind me of? Remember this one from many episodes ago?
I've lost 30 kilos in 49 weeks.
Yeah, she hasn't quite worked out where to put the pause and how long for the pause to be in that bit.
No.
Yeah, that is kind of the least of our worries when in terms of how she's delivering the lines.
Do you reckon that when they shot this ad, she said afterwards, "Oh, was I okay in that?" And they said, "Yeah, you were great."
Should I play the snippet where Santo and Mick decide to give her a call?
Oh, yeah, they really had fun with this.
Hello, nice performance. By the way, are you worried about speaking on national television in an annoyingly high-pitched voice?
No, I'm not worried at all.
Are you worried that despite numerous UN peace initiatives in Bosnia, the Serbo-Croatian conflict escalates every day with no solution in sight?
No, I'm not worried at all.
Are you worried that you're becoming repetitive?
No, I'm not worried at all.
Just before we do go, what do you reckon about the hats? Do you think they might be a little bit daggy?
No, they look great.
We should explain that they're both wearing the graduate mortarboard, things with the tassels off the side. Are they called mortarboards? I don't know what they're.
It's a mortarboard, yep.
Obviously, I've never graduated from uni, so.
Well, when you do graduate from uni, you get to wear it for about an hour because you've hired it, and then you have to give it back. So it's kind of disappointing.
I'm not even sure when I graduated that I got the mortarboard. I think I was sort of, and at my trendy new university that I went to, I think we just had the regular robes but no hat.
See, you've been ripped off there. 'cause,
Yeah,
you
that
know,
was the only reason you go there is to get
Yeah.
I was ripped
waterboard
off in a
photo.
variety of ways with my university degree, it's turned out over the years. But yeah, the lack of mortarboard is definitely one of the numerous ways.
Yeah, I had to hold a fake degree for the photo as well, if I recall.
yeah, fake degree.
No, we actually got our degrees at unnamed university, but yeah, we had to rent the robes. And I was getting I think I got a honours with my degree, so I got an extra fancy stripe, which I was very pleased with till I actually showed up on the day, and the people there on the stage had like 12 different, they were wearing rainbow Technicolor Dreamcoat outfits with, stripes and flares and big buffy hats with feathers sticking out of them.
Some of them have got fur trims and,
Yeah, it was
crazy hats.
You were essentially outranked, were you, Tony?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I was right down the bottom. And at a university that wasn't at the top in the first place. So, yeah.
Oh.
Good times.
All of these fancy mortarboards with the different colours and stripes and all that is just making me think, geez, these would be ideal candidates for Stupid Hat Day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
There are some
Definitely.
very, very stupid academic hats out there.
There's a lot going on, yeah.
After that diversion, let's go back to commercial Crime Stoppers.
Yeah, the other commercials we got are, say, Newcastle Permanent, and which was quality acting by Mick and Santo in that commercial.
Yeah, quite timely, the discussion of interest rates, which we don't probably want to get into again, but
Oh,
Do
no.
not discuss interest rates.
Hey, so Daniel, how is your interest rate going? Don't
they're
answer
just
that.
they're plaguing me like that.
And also something that was inspired, I guess, by Vikings or early edition of Game of Thrones on the budget, which was the Saxon wood heater.
Yeah, there's a nice cardboard ship in the background there that they all seem to be coming off of.
The only thing I like about that ad is that final line that it's a Viking good idea. It's a substitute for fucking. It's just a bit of fun.
Barge ass, and it is the sound of barge ass.
Well, not only do we have special guest Sonny Bono Shadley without Cher this week, but we have The Sound of Bargeass, adapted from the musical by Rodgers and Hammerstein with additional songs by Kevin Bloody Wilson. Now, I know what you're thinking here. Why would Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein, the renowned American duo, famous for writing wholesome musicals like Oklahoma and The Sound of Music, collaborate with Kevin Bloody Wilson, the man who wrote Born Again Piss Tank and Rootin' in the Back of the Ute? Well, my research suggests that Mr. Bloody Wilson may have made this contribution to The Sound of Music.
What is it you can't face?
Right? Write in and tell me I'm wrong, people. Back to you, Matt.
Thank you very much, Alison. So, and this one is just pure fart. So, barge ass makes 4 farts in 30 seconds and he's gone too far. It's so important, and so bad that it's made the national headlines in the newspaper. And also another headline. Did you see what was?
Yeah, Late Show promise no more phony newspaper headlines. I don't think they will keep that promise somehow. But anyway, thanks for playing.
So the chief is introducing good taste into the series as well, starting with wardrobe.
Yeah, we have a representative from Casual Squad appear, wearing a very nice polo shirt in blue. Gorgeous.
Casual Squad. Hold on. It's just a guess, but I think it's barge ass.
Who else?
It's such a stupid joke, but it's so well executed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one of those you have to pause and just leave. Have a good laugh. No one else. Oh, I've gone red in the face.
Yeah.
I'm crying here.
It's like, you should see that Tony's just got like the shirt on his face.
I don't know what to think. I mean, it's funny, but there's funny and then there's funny
and there's that fart.
Yeah.
Usually I've got no problems at all with fart jokes, but yeah.
I'm sorry, I've lost it.
Well,
Matt, play What'll I Do? That'll stop you laughing.
Oh, hold on.
Yes.
What'll I do?
Oh yeah, it works.
There we go. That's done it.
God, I'm so sorry.
But yeah, it's sort of it digresses from basically a comment on the smart casual attire of all the people in the Bluey series to somebody being accused of being a dirty great pole puncher.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you hear that, you think, what is that? Have I missed what that actually means? And then
Detective Pole and a casual squad. Where's your red shirt? And lady, where's your slack suit?
We don't have to take orders from you.
What?
You heard the lady, you dirty great pole puncher.
Pole puncher? That's a lie. I am not a pole puncher.
Well, according to her, you are.
It's true.
Pole puncher.
I think what I really love about that phrase, you dirty great pole puncher, is that it's a phrase which seems dirty, but like when you break it down, isn't.
Yeah, if you say it to someone in the general public and call them a pole puncher, it's going to be someone's going to take major offense at that, like something derogatory, and next thing you know, yeah, you've been back chatted on Twitter. But then Anne Burke tries to convince Barjas it's all okay. He'll look as trendy as Glen 20 as well, with his it's like a giggle. So.
Well, can we talk briefly about the food that they're eating in this scene? It's very kind of 70s Chinese takeaway or what, I don't know what it is.
It looked delicious. Looked MSG, like just total MSG.
It's very brown, isn't it?
Very, yeah. But only Barjas would do it if he was to promote his new album, The Many Moods of Barjas. Now, I did not have any grabs for this because it's quite a fair bit, but I did create a playlist on the champagnecomedy.com YouTube channel, The Many Moods of Barjas, which I will share all 29 installments, all 29 songs of the playlist. So I did it on YouTube because Spotify doesn't have every single one of them at the time.
And yeah, there's a long list of perfectly appropriate song titles scrolling along the bottom of the screen. I've got a feeling this might have been a team effort from all of the DJing.
Yeah, it's everything from Smells Like Teen Spirit to Yummy, 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 I've got love in my tummy.
And then
in the air tonight.
Yeah, all these fart-based ones, Wind Beneath My Wings, Summer Breeze.
I'm surprised that there's a song called Life is a Minestrone. And like
you would have found that on YouTube then.
Yeah, every single song I found on YouTube, and they're all legit. So you'll be able to hear it in the Many Moods of Barjas playlist on our Champagne Comedy YouTube channel.
Out now on Hefty Records.
There we go. And we're on stage now, couch time, and Tony explains how Barjas is Bluey and blah, blah, blah.
And a friend of ours and frequent participant in this program, Mr. Copyright Pete Smith, was cleaning out his basement the other day and he found... just trying to picture Pete Smith cleaning out his basement. Everything has to go.
Apparently Pete Smith found a tape of Bluey that was dubbed in Italian, and which he then proceeds to play the dubbed Italian Barjas clip from the Italian Late Show.
Il programma retardo.
And it's
which that is the correct translation, as anybody who's ever had to go through the Avanti books in primary school in the 80s and 90s can attest to. Dario è sempre in ritardo. Dario is always late.
Mate, thank you for that translation. So Tommy G then reads out fan mail from Amy Newsom, who asks the cast how they remember the lines, and that's when they basically do a rehash of all the times that they've fluffed it. especially Judas one that was written on her wrist.
It's a nightclub stamp.
Also, Jane reads out a letter asking. Now, see, here's the thing. This is very REM heavy. Like they loved REM because they. Someone had written in asking if they knew the words to REM, the Sidewinder sleeps tonight, and Jane claims it's coming in to bake the bread. Santo says coming into Vegas, yeah.
Of course, nowadays we could just Google it. Call me when you try to wake her up.
REM lyrics were quite notorious for being difficult to understand, and I guess Michael Stipe, his diction maybe needed a bit of work.
Michael Stipe.
Or me. Photocopy your bum and make it into a
Michael
cake.
Stipe. Yeah. But then that's also kind of the charm of it, of the songs. You have no idea what they're about.
You've got to leave space for the audience to, project their own interests in there.
That's true.
But yeah, this is all just a ruse for Jane and Santo to basically ask a famous friend of theirs.
Janie, you got to. That's
No.
completely wrong.
It's not. It's take my hand and we'll make it, I swear.
He says take my hair.
Take my hair and
hair.
we'll make it. No way. It's not
What do you
that.
reckon? I have the gun.
It was all about Bon Jovi, and that was Bon Jovi there.
Yeah.
John Bon Jovi.
John Bon Jovi, sorry. Yep.
Give him his first name.
Yeah, I want to know exactly what he was saying after that. They just kind of cut him off in the middle of his nod, didn't they?
Yeah, one line. He gets one line. The same number of lines as Wayne Goss.
Yes. No, that was Hawkins, though.
So Jace goes through a whole bunch of lookalikes, including one where Jane's just naked. Or lookalike Jane.
Yeah,
you
so
can
many.
see her ass.
So, Alison, you started this whole
look at
thing,
you.
this whole
Yeah,
trend.
no, I didn't start this. There was someone before me. But the thing is, if you get in early, you get a minute or so of airtime.
Yeah.
Whereas there's about 20 of these lookalikes, and they just cycle through them really, really quickly.
Yeah, they just didn't get that airtime that you did.
I think my favourite one is the one that's compared to Tony's makeup-laden portrayal of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Which is it's the ABC Adelaide TV newsreader at the time. At the time, his name was Shane Dannett, and then he he changed his name to Shane Fankhauser, moved to Germany, and was reading the news for Deutsche Welle in Germany.
Yeah, wow.
So the only reason I know this is because community TV would always regularly air the Deutsche Welle news. I think because it was free off the satellite, essentially.
Of course.
Yeah.
They're not just fans.
I think Shane might have moved back to Adelaide. I haven't been able to track him down.
He always said he'd be back. So.
But it's a superb lookalike. Shane Dannett / Fankhauser and Schwarzenegger Martin.
Just pause to recognise the good work by Kim there.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, if you keep laughing, Matt, we're gonna have to have the theme song again.
Yeah.
Hold on.
That's it. That brings the mood back down
There you
to
go.
serious.
That was a fantastic joke. No pun there. No pun
Excellent
there.
work, Kim. Round of applause for Kim, I think.
Yeah, that was
Thank you.
100%.
Not as bad as the Myrtle Danger from last time.
Sorry, what was that?
Myrtle Danger.
Oh,
that was a good one from me last time.
That's a round of applause worthy joke.
Yeah.
I did like the way in this bit where they had the picture of Jace that turned out to actually be Jace and illustrating how getting a uni degree can make you a success, and then he's just ended up on the ABC.
Yeah, that's something that I'm quite familiar with as well. You got the degree, you got to wear the hat for an hour. Then what happened?
Return it.
You're on this podcast.
Yeah. So Rob reads out a letter claiming that Rob's claim of meeting Tom and Santo in school was completely false. Oh, boo-hoo. But this is where the teaser actually come in, because Rob does reveal how he truly met Santo.
course, I'm an excellent driver. He lets me drive slow on the driveway.
Yeah, that was
There's
the
only
trailer
28
for Rain Man. So, and here's the reveal.
Look, I told you I'm a brother. I don't have a brother, Doctor.
Santo, would you like to come out? I watch Jeopardy at 5:30. I like watching Jeopardy at 5:30.
This is my brother.
TV at 6:30.
Surely he should have said, I like to watch Wheel of Fortune at 5:30.
Hold on, what did he say?
I watch Jeopardy at 5:30. I like watching Jeopardy at 5:30.
Was this when Tony Barber was hosting Jeopardy?
Tony
in
Barber.
Australia?
Yeah, because it was season 2.
Okay. Barber was hosting that for quite a brief period of time.
Yeah.
Like it was only about a year or two that lasted.
Yeah, 93, it was Jeopardy, yeah.
But
And
nice
Rain
reference
Man-
to TV.
And those Rain Man references have not aged well. It's not a film that is lingered in the pop culture consciousness for a variety of reasons. Even now, when everyone's banging on about Tom Cruise's back because Top Gun is a good movie, Rain Man is not a film that people are being directed towards.
Of course not.
Yeah, I think a portrayal of a neurodiverse character would be done differently these days. Put it that way.
Yeah.
But still on the couch, Judith explains that she's been having dreams of Mick arguing and other type of dreams. So they end up seeing a psychotherapist, a dream analyst, and also Dr. Malcolm McMillan, author of is it Freud Evaluated?
Yeah.
And
Freud,
a firefighter and Santo's mum. This is a bit of a interesting, I guess, sketch that Judith has put together.
It's a weird old sketch, really.
It feels like something that actually happened to some extent. Like you wouldn't make up I was having dreams of Mick and they got violent, so I asked someone what they were about. It's like that's a very convoluted setup.
It's like if Judith actually went to these doctors for personal reasons, and the best way to, claim it back was to turn it into a sketch. So claim it back on the ABC.
And the bits with Mick seem to be filmed in someone's apartment, so I'm sure they claimed the rent back for a few weeks as well.
Especially with the dream analyst who was just sitting there trying not to laugh.
Yeah, Lynn, who thankfully declined to provide their surname.
I think the end where they go into what's the movie parody? I should know
Blue
this.
Lagoon, yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I think that sort of saves the whole thing, just with a whole lot of Mick in a blonde wig staring off into space. Sort of good value there.
I really couldn't get much out of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's, second last episode. They can't all be winners.
No, of course not. No.
No.
And
It's a bit of a prelude, though, to Judith's later work. More recently, she's done shows like
Spiritual Journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spiritual Journey, exactly, where she'll sort of talk about issues and, talk to experts and stuff, except in a more serious way. She's sort of, this is a sketch here.
Yeah. And even I think it was when she was on The Weekly, she was doing this sort of thing where she would meet experts and just have some really ridiculous sort of proposition that they would be trying to deal with while she's straight-facedly talking rubbish.
It was just the audience, you could tell like that they were there for other people in that show, if that makes sense. Yeah, as we'll find out a bit later on.
Yeah.
We have the toilet break, and it's not your average toilet break, because even though Tony does explain that in the clip how serious Potluck was, because someone had actually sent in a clip, like a newspaper clipping, praising Potluck.
Oh, yes. So I think it was from a New Idea or Women's Day, from when the show was actually launched at the time, and Ernie Sigley saying, this is going to be great. We're not going to, well, he didn't say I'm not going to take the piss out of them, but he's saying we're going to treat them like humans, and it's going to be like, we're going to respect them, and it's all going to be great.
Yeah, sure you are, Ernie.
That's the arc of so many Australian television shows. They come up and it's like, this is going to be different. It's going to be quality. It's respect. It's good acts. And then, 3 weeks later, it's like, how are we going to keep people watching? I know, more clowns.
So what Tony did, because he was explaining that there was so much gold in Potluck to play.
And only 2 episodes to go.
Yeah. So here's a trifecta. I shortened this down a little bit further just to squeeze it in.
Lights! Music! Action!
Moonlight light.
All sing along in the blur, like a breeze drifting over the sand.
Now, the first bit was the lights, camera, action was, they didn't mention the name. Nothing came up of it, but it was more visual than anything because as she's doing her dance routine, that her microphone battery pack fell off.
That was funny. That was a
And
good
she
moment.
kept going.
Yeah.
Yeah, good on her to keep going.
Oh,
But
yeah.
she
But-
lost whatever credibility she gained the second that happened.
Yeah. Act 4, which was the second one, the Moonlight Lightning. That was Michael Dager, who's a dead set chick magnet. So he just looked like a really classy 80s lounge singer. And then he also, the last one was Act 6, Kenneth Cooper, who looked like someone.
I reckon Kenneth had a couple.
I'd say he's straight from the RSL.
Yeah.
Well, I was.
Well, he had his.
Yeah,
he had his
I
Air
think
Force
you're about to
blazer
say it, Tony, aren't you?
Yeah, he had his Air Force blazer on with the crest on the pocket. So I'm
Air
guessing
Force.
he's
I
some
thought
sort of-
that might have been Freemasons.
Oh, well, I don't know if you advertise if you're in the Freemasons. It's all secret handshakes and wink and a nod.
Because they couldn't really do the scores on the lights, camera, action woman and Michael Dager, but they did score Kenneth Cooper. So, Daniel, before you reveal the results, let's hear what Bernard has to say about Kenneth Cooper.
Kenneth lists his hobbies as restoring classic cars. I hope he treats the cars with more respect than he treated the music he presented today. 10, Kenneth. That was just
10
awful.
from Bernard for Kenneth Cooper.
Awful. And just awful.
Awful.
Oh, don't worry.
Yeah.
Anne Wills would have said something nice.
Yeah, and I don't think it was that bad. I mean, it wasn't great, but it wasn't, rural territory.
It's like a pub sing-along
Yeah.
type vibe, isn't it? You know, if he
Pretty
is
much.
ex Air Force, he probably, even his mates in the regimental pub would have just sung along to songs like that. And he thought, yeah, all right, I'll go on this TV show and give it a bash.
Oh, yeah.
10.
But yeah, that's definitely Bernard King, short, sharp, and scathing.
Awful. Just awful.
So that 10 points from Bernard King puts him again equal 14th with a whole bunch of other people. Last episode's Gary Bond with "Take Me Away," Razia, Krista Cruel. Basically, second bottom essentially. So will next episode's potluck act be enough to unseat our front runner Piffy? We'll find out.
No one can beat Piffy, surely.
Sizzle. All right. Yeah, it's time for Graham and the Colonel, and oh my God.
Wow.
That's sweeping the nation, that craze. Madness. Inexplicable.
See, that's where the audience was really there for. It sounded like the Santo fan club.
Yeah, I wish I were there.
would you have been tearing your hair out and going,
Yeah. Well, that was probably the general gist of every episode, so I don't know why this one was particularly special. Maybe there's just something in the air that night that made it that little bit more.
There's something in the air, presumably helium.
Oh, yeah, or bar jar jokes, obviously.
Oh, all right. But they plugged David Boone's new book in the firing line. And I do love this joke.
Graham, hasn't Boone blossomed as a writer ever since he left that Mills guy? Oh, hasn't he? He's just blossomed so much. He's just really... He's gone solo.
And they throw to apparently Booney in the crowd, in the audience.
Yeah,
always
that was
one.
a good lookalike.
Yeah. But also we get to see some of Boone's previous literary works with Mills, For the Love of an Opener.
Lovely double entendre there.
Yeah.
So the Spring Carnival, they talk about the Phantom Chase winning the Cox Plate, and Duffel Coat Supreme is jinxed. They have all the diseases. So they went through everything that he had last year, such as gout, tennis elbow, dandruff, PMT. He was Italian.
He's a stallion.
Yeah.
He can't have PMT.
But I do love the fact that they added more to that joke, which he had bulimia, thanks to
Luckily, Santo had his copy of Cosmopolitan, otherwise he wouldn't have known
Yes.
what that was.
Acne and split ends.
So I spoke to the vet last night, and he's given it a treatment shampoo to fix the split ends, and he reckons it won't happen overnight, but it will happen.
This podcast is so visual. It's just friggin' hilarious.
Every now and then, we just all shrug to the camera. We got nothing to
It was beautiful. Yeah. So
if you guys at home aren't enjoying it, it's because you can't see what's going on. It's your fault, not ours. We're hilarious.
Exactly. So, but they had problems with the jockey because their jockey wears a checkered shirt, sheriff's badge, and a 10-gallon hat. Yep.
And his name Tex.
Yes, Tex. The soccer player accepting the giant check from an Arab bank. They showed a clip of Graham had a mix-up and he pulls out a big check.
Just let this sound sink in. There you go. Oh, actually, when you actually...
No, let this sound sink in.
Yeah, it's sinking in now.
Nothing like a big prop.
His little perforation thing, that's like ASMR from the 90s, isn't it? That sound of that.
All I'm reminded of, and I forget where Tony Martin would have said this, but I remember him saying that somebody described a fart as sounding like a giant check ripped from a giant checkbook.
Yes.
Very
I think it might have been one of the radio shows he mentioned that on.
I think so, yeah.
Play it again.
Just let this sound sink in. There you go.
It's a fart. It's a fart.
You got to do it nice and deep. Like a fart. Jesus.
Sorry, like in addition to being working dogs / late show aficionados, we're also fart aficionados.
Hold on.
I'm not aficionados.
Oh no! He's putting his bum in front of the mic.
No. All right, hold on. Let me just see if this works.
This is where the audience should be glad they can't see it.
Okay, I've got a notepad. Hold on. Wait.
Pretty good.
I think we should all get our notepads out. Yeah, here, this is my one here.
I don't have anything papery around me, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I've only got an iPhone. I'm going to have to,
Oh, you've got to go old school. You've got to have your notepads.
All right, and also Australian cricket team selections. Graham wonders if Bruce Reid will get in. Colonel says that it's because of the waif look is back.
They mentioned Kate Moss as well. Kate Moss was probably the most famous waif-like
basically
person at the time.
An abandoned person.
Looking skinny and underfed.
We're back on stage now, and Jane and Tony are on the couch, and Tony just happens to be sitting on a copy of the VHS of The Best Bits of the Late Show, Volume 2.
Yeah, like even though it seems like they're running really late, as are we, there's always time to plug the Sunday repeat and the Volume 2 tape.
Because Tony keeps asking Mick to get the musical closing, and Mick keeps screwing it up, he calls on Jane to do it to get Huey Lewis in the news. I got to admit, this is probably one of the better ones.
Yep.
And Jane actually gets Haley Lewis.
Now I'm playing it real straight, and yes, I cut my hair. You might think I'm crazy, but I don't even care. I can tell what's going on. You hit to be square, so hit to be square.
I love that the audience starts to clap along to the song because my younger brother Ross really hates that. Like, it seems to especially be British audiences on panel shows and light entertainment shows and the like always seem to be really quick to clap along to somebody singing.
I was actually trying to track down Healy Lewis, but stupid me, I forgot how far into the week it was and I couldn't get her in time, so that's my own fault there. My bad.
Oh well, but yeah, it's like
This
it's
is
not
nicely done.
bad. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I like the synchronized swimmers and then her sort of confused look at the synchronized swimmers going, what are these women doing? But yeah, it's nicely done round the pool.
Time for the credit roll. And Daniel, was there any Easter eggs?
Not too much in the way of special guests. We've only got Peter Brock, John Bon Jovi and Haley Lewis. Also appearing were Warren Begg, Lynn Benson, Joan Brockenshire, Tommy Dysart, Alison Lloyd, Dr. Malcolm McMillan, David Montalti, Dr. Peter O'Connor, Catherine Skolka, Michael Skolka, and Susan Trensky. And the thanks went to ABC News, Don Diedrich, Roland McAdam, the estate of the late Gerda Nicholson, Victorian Synchronised Swimming, and Wesley College Paran. I think that might have been where they filmed the musical finale. And there was also one other thank you at the end, because, usually at the end of the credits, they put that the D Generation would like to thank Apocalypse, Apple Computer, Choice Systems, Damaroo, Sports Girl, The Facility, Triple M, but they also added Ansett Australia to that list. So...
Well, they do mention Ansett. Is it Ansett they mentioned during the Rain Man hit?
Yeah, and then he talks about Qantas, because that was the whole famous line where he says how Qantas is the best airline. So maybe they should have said apologies to Ansett rather than thank yous.
Maybe they got a free mystery flight or two out of it.
Mystery flights, God, those were the days, weren't they? Do they still do mystery flights?
They still exist. I know people who still get mystery flights, older relatives of mine and whatnot.
Lucky them.
Yeah, they're obviously really bored. Anyway.
But obviously there was no solicit for the audience tickets because it's basically the final episode coming up. Yeah.
They changed ticket phone-in numbers and only got to use it for 1 week.
I know, right? But that pretty much wraps up season 2, episode 19 of The Late Show, as well as episode 39 of the Champagne Comedy Podcast. So we got there in the end. Sorry for the big laugh in the middle. I do apologise for Barjas. But yeah, so please join us for our final episode for The Late Show.
1 episode to go.
One to go. So if you made it this far...
I can't believe we've made it.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for nearly 2 years now.
We have.
Yeah.
It all started because of some virus that plagued the world. So, thank you very much. And we'll keep soldiering on for this final episode. It's going to be a big one. So I might as well, if you got this far, I'll spoil it for you right now. If all else works to plan, we'll have 2 major guests on. Okay, they're not D-Gen people. Okay, sorry, I couldn't get that all that hot. I really tried. We got a maybe and then it fizzled out. So, but we do have 2 cast members. One we've already had on, and also someone who's somewhat been loosely associated with a running joke throughout season 2. So that's all I'll say. They're going to we're going to phone that person in.
Cool.
There's some sizzle for you. So please join us for a freaking huge episode 40 and the final episode of The Late Show.
Yeah, this might run long. I mean, who knows? This could be a 2-parter.
Possibly, yeah. And we are continuing on afterwards too. So I've already spoken to everyone, Alison, Daniel, Kim, Prue, Tony, and then they're all on board to continue on. But me, I got a thing, so you have to work it out yourselves. So it's no, we'll probably be doing Frontline and other stuff. So we'll be still sticking around like a bad barge-ass fart. So
can I just scotch any rumours that we'll be doing a Birds of a Feather podcast? We are definitely not doing a Birds of a Feather podcast.
Well, we kind of already have by the amount of times we've mentioned them.
Someone else can have
thing is off.
have that pleasure.
I'm out of here. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I was sticking around for.
Yeah, jeez. So feel free to email us champagnelateshow@gmail.com, Twitter @TLSChampagne, website champagnecomedy.com, Facebook, The Late Show page, also the podcast group on Facebook. Answer the 3 questions and you're in. If you actually answer the questions, it automatically lets you in. Don't make me manually approve you. Don't make me work. Jeez. It's only up there to keep the spam out, 100%, okay? And also our Redbubble store, Bitly Champagne Comedy. So thank you again, Alison, Daniel, Kim, and Tony for coming back on.
Bye.
Let's do it again. See you next time.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
I'm Matt, and catch you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to the Champagne Comedy Podcast, created by fans for the fans. For more information on this podcast, please visit champagnecomedy.com. Produced by Matt Fulton Productions, mattfulton.com.au.